Hello, friend. Piano Man Steve Lungrin here, founder of the Piano Man Approach online piano courses. Thanks so much for tuning in today. We're doing a song master class on one of my favorites, The Beautiful Sunshine on My Shoulders by John Denver, one of my all-time heroes. And I love doing songs like this because it's great to show piano players that you can play songs that don't really have much of a piano presence in the original recording. So you would tend to think of this as an acoustic guitar song, but I'm going to show you how well it can work on piano and some of the tweaks that you need to make it work as such. So before we jump in, if you enjoy content like this, I would sure appreciate it if you would give my video a like and hit the subscribe button there. Leave comments. Let me know what you think, if you have questions, and what you might want me to cover in the future. And, of course, talk about this and share it with people who you think might benefit from it. So, okay, now that I've got that out of the way, and check my links. Down there I have my free song learning blueprint mini course that you can go to anytime, no commitment. You just want to give you some step-by-step formula that you can use, the same one that I teach in these videos that you can use to learn hundreds and hundreds of songs. So go check that out as well. So this song is in the key of B-flat major. And what we're going to do is run this through my 5-step magic song learning formula. So I call it the GLIDE formula. It's an acronym. Each letter stands for an important step, but it helps you glide right through the process of learning just about any song that you could possibly want. So step number one is G, get the chords. Those are available in a lot of places. I tend to use ultimateguitartabs.com quite a bit. I'm a pro member. It's a pretty inexpensive thing to be a member of. They have some free versions as too. They're not as reliable as the stuff that you get when you're a paid member. You can also find chords on a number of different apps, and I'm not going to list all of them because they go in and out of fashion. But Hal Leonard will always have, HalLeonard.com will always have a lot of sheet music. We're not going to pay attention to the notes on the staff. What we're going to do is pay attention to those guitar chords up above the staff. Okay. So anyway, you go get the chords. Second, L, you listen to the song, and that's very easy. You can find that on YouTube or Spotify or whatever, and I can't just play it on this video. That would be a violation of the copyright of that master recording. But you can, so you can either pause it now or you can watch this video and then listen to it later as you're working through the steps. But you need to listen to the song because how it sounds needs to be fresh in your mind. Step 3 is identify the feel. Okay, now this is where things start to get kind of fun. And that's why you want to have had a fresh listen, because you can try these out with the recording or you can try them out on their own, but you want how that song sounds kind of fresh in your mind. And I have 4 essential feels. What we mean by this is where we're going to learn a rhythm pattern. We're going to figure out a basic rhythm pattern or a kind of an essential rhythm pattern that holds this thing together. And let me just say that the reason why we're doing this is, for me, what my piano journey was like was that I had observed as a kid that you had to be like a virtuoso to get any good at piano, and yet there were all these people who were kind of mediocre musicians who seemed to be able to just grab an acoustic guitar and have a lot of fun and play a lot of songs, and I didn't know why. And ultimately, I learned that what they had was they learned maybe 10 or 12 chords that they could form on the neck of the guitar with their left hand. And then they had these strumming patterns that they could use with the right hand, and that strumming pattern would approximate what was going on with the ensemble, not just one part, but the ensemble that made up the recording of the song that they were playing. And I wondered if there was something you could do like that with piano. It turns out there is, and I call them rhythm patterns. A lot of other people are out there calling them rhythm patterns now too, but I've been doing this for 15 years. So I'm kind of a pioneer on this particular term, and I'm proud of that. So anyway, we're going to find a rhythm pattern to plug these chords into, and then that will form the foundation that the song rests on. I have 4 essential feels to choose from that'll get you, some kind of a credible version of about 90% of songs. So let's just try them out. The first one's called the basic feel. The basic feel is where you're playing straight quarter notes in your left hand. Like that. And then at the beginning, even though you can do all different kinds of things with your right hand on any of these feels, your left hand is the most important part of the situation. Just when you don't have anything better to do, we just come down on beats 2 and 4 on the left hand on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And then you just kind of sing the song over it and see if it's working. So it's B flat, E flat, B flat, E flat, okay? Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Probably not right. It's a little choppy, right? That's not really getting the job done. So we're probably not going to use the basic feel. So let's try something else. Let's try the country feel. The country feel is still down on every, or there's a chord or something happening on every beat. But what's happening in the left hand is that now you're alternating between the 1 of the chord and the 5 of the chord. Okay? What's the 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you walk yourself up that B flat scale, the 5 is F. So your left hand is going B flat, F, B flat, F, B flat, F. And on E flat, it's E flat to B flat because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 takes you to a B flat, okay? And then you play a chord in between the two, sort of like a chuck, 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 okay? You can think of it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can think of it as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Really doesn't matter, up to you. So let's just try that out and see how we like the sound of this song if we're using the country feel. Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Again, I'm not sure that's the right thing, although that might be an interesting way to arrange the song if you wanted to. If you wanted to turn it into a square dancer or a hoedown. Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Turn it into a polka. But that we're going to try and play it a little more like John actually recorded it. So that's probably not the one that we're looking for. The third one is the waltz feel. I know we're not going to use that because the waltz feel goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. It's made for songs with 3 beats per measure, and this definitely has either 2 beats per measure or 4 beats per measure, depending on how you're choosing to count it. So we know it can't be a waltz. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, on my 1, 2, 3, 4, makes me happy, 2, 3, 4, right? So that leaves us one more essential feel. Let's hope this one works. It's called the heartbeat feel or the syncopated feel. That's where we throw a little syncopation into the left hand, and this is my favorite one, and it also is the most prolifically used in almost all of popular music, particularly in the post-rock and roll era. So here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Like a heartbeat. Thump, 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 thump. Okay? And when you don't have anything better to do with your right hand yet, we just play quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, So let's try the song with that. Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're starting to cook with gas. That may not be the absolute most nuanced thing you do with it, but that clearly was starting to make the song come to life, right? Okay. So this is where we start. So we found our feel. We're going to use the heartbeat syncopated feel. Step 4 is D, and I call it drill it down. That means you just take the chords and you run them through that rhythm pattern without doing anything special. No fills, no licks. You don't look for any kind of modification of any kind whatsoever yet, because what you're trying to do is just get comfortable with where the song is going, okay? You don't want any of your brain power. You want zero brain power going to, now, where does this go next? Like, if I'm on a B flat, where's an E flat chord? Is it here? Right, you want that under your fingers, right? So we just would go. Okay. Then eventually, when you get to the next section, it would be like, if I had C minor, D minor a day, E flat, that I could give you B flat, C minor, D minor, E flat major, B flat. Give a day, sure to make you smile. Then it's C minor, C minor over a B flat, F over an A, B flat, C minor, D minor, E flat, B flat, C minor, D minor, E flat. I'd give it 10 to make you way. E flat, B flat, back to B flat, sunshine, E flat, on my B flat shoulders, E flat, makes me happy, B flat, E flat, B flat, E flat, on my eyes can E flat make me cry, C minor, C minor with a B flat bass, F over an A, B flat. Okay? So you just kind of work yourself through those chords because you want them under your fingers. Once that happens, now we really start to have fun. And step 5, that is E, enhance with simple improv techniques and signatures. Okay. Simple improv techniques are little things that we do on the chord that we're already playing. Okay, that's the main thing. Want to make it as simple as possible. You would be absolutely amazed by all of the gold that you can mine out of where your hand already is sitting. So, like, let's not reinvent the wheel and make our hand go all the time. You can do a little bit of that, but base it mostly on the chord that you're already playing and where your hand is already resting. But signatures is where there's something going on in the song that's very specific, and you want to either play it exactly as it was, or you want to approximate it really, really, really close, because you can't always play it exactly the way it was. If it's done on one instrument, it doesn't always translate as a specific, like, perfect what would I say? It's not necessarily a perfect transcription, perfect expression of it when you switch over to piano. So, there's one signature in this song that I think we might want to look at, and that is how the guitar is playing the opening riff. So what am I doing here? So if you were to watch John Denver play this back in the day, he's going like thumb, he's thumb, thumb, and then plays a little something with these fingers, thumb, thumb, da-dum, thumb, thumb, and then he goes da-dum, plays a little thing on the left hand, so it makes a sound like bottle-dum, bottle-dum, dum-dum. So he's still playing thumb, thumb, da, the thumb, thumb, da, thumb, thumb, the thumb, 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 da, thumb. Okay. We're obviously not going to do exactly that on piano, but there's sort of an equivalent. So we are going to use a little technique I call toggling. Toggling is where you play part of the chord with the upper part of your hand, like your four fingers, or some grouping of your four fingers, and then you come back down onto your thumb. And you can start with your thumb and then go to your fingers and then back to your thumb or whatever. But that's toggling. Da, 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 da. Okay? So we're going to, in the right hand, do a little toggling on this B flat chord. And we're going to play B flat and F together like this. So toggle. So can you hear this? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So we start here. And then in order to create that goofy little thing where it's like he plays one note with his thumb on guitar, but on the neck of the guitar he kind of moves a string, right? Moves up a fret. So we're gonna play like that because we're moving from a B flat chord to an E flat chord. Well, what notes are there any notes that there are in common between an E flat chord and a B flat chord? Well, yeah, as it happens, that B flat is a common note. And if you listen to it just right, at least in some parts of the song, it sounds like he's playing B flat and then an E flat with a B flat bass, as opposed to moving to an E flat bass. So we can do this. Moving from F to G. Why? That G is part of the E flat chord. Right? So now I'm perfectly positioned to have an E flat chord with what I'm doing in the bass. Okay? And when you throw that toggle in here, see how I'm playing an E flat now? B flat, E flat, G. It's inverted, right? So it's not here. It's the same notes, but the B flat's on the bottom. You got yourself a riff. And I'm playing it a little too fast, but I was just getting it under my fingers. Sunshine on my shoulder makes me happy. Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. Okay, so that's an opening riff signature line that we can kind of copy, and you can use it kind of all the way through that first verse a little bit. Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. And then all of a sudden we're on a C minor. And what I'm going to do now is suggest that your right hand continue to use toggles even when you're not doing that signature, because it now becomes a really, really good way to modify this rhythm pattern to really, really fit what was going on. Because John kind of keeps that sound going on. So C minor, just doing a little toggle. Thumb, up, thumb. C minor over B flat. F over A. Sunshine on the water looks so lovely. Sunshine almost all the time makes me high. Okay, now when he goes to the part that says, if I had a day that I could give you, right? Now we can move out of just that basic one right there, or that sort of signature, and we can give it a little more pace because the band picks up. You get the bass guitar coming in, they bring some strings in and other things. So now we can give it a little more scope. So now move down to octave B flats. Why? Gives it a little more bottom end, spreads the frequencies that you're playing out just a little bit, so it makes the sound a little bit bigger even if you're not hitting the keys harder. And we bring in our heartbeat. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. And you just keep doing that toggle. Thumb, da, da, thumb, fingers, thumb, right? If I had a day that I could give you, I'd give to you a day just like today. And now we're C minor over B flat, F over A, back to B flat. And if I had a song that I could give you. And by the way, I put the lyrics and the chords down in the video description, so check that out if you can't find them anywhere else. Forgot to mention that earlier, but I try to do that just so you've got a frame of reference. I give you a day just like, or make you feel this way. There we go. Now we're back to just a B flat and then an E flat over a B flat, because we're getting back to sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy, right? And so now we still want to keep the pace, right? We don't want to lose the heartbeat. So what we might do is now just B flat, E flat, B flat, E flat over B flat, right? But if you want to get a little bit cute, you can bring back the bum 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 bottle dum bottom bum bum bottom bottle dum. But the way that you do that is, rather than using your left hand to go, right? What you can do is simply add it rhythmically in the right hand, because it'll create sort of like, even though you're not doing exactly that riff, just putting that in rhythmically will give a nod to it, and people's ears will kind of hear it. They won't really know what you're doing, but it'll feel a little more authentic. So you can do this in a number of ways. You could stretch your chord out to be an octave chord, so it's like down here, thumb on F, pinky on F. So what you're doing is in your right hand, see how I'm doing that? I'm just adding an extra note, and kind of what we're doing, it's called arpeggiating. You're taking a little bit of the chord and you're playing the notes individually rather than as a block. And we're just moving up. So G, B. So toggle, arpeggio, toggle, toggle. Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Now, if that's too hard for you at this point, don't worry about it. Just stick to a toggle. This is not bad. See, the thing is, there's no right or wrong or perfect way to do this. What I love about this particular method of playing is that there's a point of entry for you wherever your skill set is right now. And as you get a little better, a little more sophisticated, you have a little more momentum, it's not just one song that'll get better. You're learning tools that you'll be able to apply to hundreds of songs. So it's a rising tide that raises all the boats. So every time you get a little better at one song, you're getting better at every single song. All right? And you get to choose. But isn't it great that even if you're a total beginner, if you can figure out how to do this, sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy, that's not too bad of a version of the song right there before you've done any of this other stuff. So, find your point of entry and keep it where it's comfortable for you, and then try to stretch yourself just a little bit. Reach for the next thing, and then reach for the next thing. Don't try to be the most sophisticated player in the world right out of the gate. That'll frustrate you and make you want to quit. But if you just reach for the next thing, you'll be surprised how quickly it'll pile up, and you'll be doing very interesting things very fast. So, now, if stretching your hand that far is a little difficult for you, then what you might consider doing, you could do it like that. That's an acceptable way to do it. I don't think it's as effective, but it is. If stretching your hand to a full octave is kind of hard for you, then stick to a 3-note chord, and it's fine. And you can do it in any inversion of the chord you want. Remember, this is root position, where the root of the chord, B flat's on the bottom. But if you're playing those 3 notes, whether it's here or here, still a B flat chord, it'll still work. And the mechanics of doing a toggle or an arpeggio stay the same in every one of those. So obviously my favorite would be to do the octave chord. Sunshine on my happy. Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. Sunshine on the water looks so lovely. Sunshine almost always makes me high. There we go. If I had a tale that I could tell you, a tale sure to make you smile. If I had a wish that I could wish for you, I'd make a wish for sunshine all the while. And see how just with a few tweaks, so we start out just knowing the chords, then we find that essential feel, and we get this. And that is the point of entry that gets us eventually to making some simple modifications. We throw in some of these toggles, a little bit of arpeggio. We just listen for those like rhythmic things that we can throw in. And then this one kind of quirky thing at the beginning. And suddenly we're on piano and you are playing this thing so spot on that people would forget that you're playing it on piano. It just sounds like sunshine on my shoulders. So that's what I love about this method. It gives you a place to start. It gives you a credible place to start. And it gives you a way to play it in a very satisfying way, even if you're just a beginner. And then you have all the space in the world to improve and put enhancements in it. And you just have to know tricks. And that's all we're doing here is we're assembling a toolbox or a little bag of tricks that you can reach in and apply in this song and a bunch of other songs. And you get to make choices in the moment so it stays fresh. You might be playing it very similarly most of the time, but you are definitely making it a new experience every single time. So I'm going to let that be enough for now. Thank you for tuning in. And if you are more interested in this method, please check out my links below. And definitely remember my mantra, which is if you're not having fun when you're making music, you're doing it wrong. And I'll see you on the next video, gang. Thanks a lot. I'm Piano Man Steve. I appreciate you tuning in.